when Justin Trudeau increased taxes, when he puts in place a carbon tax, when he dismisses the energy sector as full of dirty jobs, when he talks about trying to shut down the energy sector, when he completely fails on any number of policies, these are the people that he fails. They're my constituents. I know many of you are watching and you live across the country and feel the same way, but I'm out today in my very cold riding of Calgary Nose Hill, and I just wanted to stop and take a moment and talk to you about what I'm hearing on the doors today. You know, it actually gets to me because I can't tell you the level of frustration that I hear on the doors in my community. Many people here, they can't work. And they can't work because over the last 3 years, we've had a government that has done everything possible to slow down, to shut down the growth in the industry that creates their jobs. Many of them are still unemployed, and you know, I try and get out into my riding as much as possible because it gets me ready to go back and fight. Parliament sits on Monday, that's what I'm going to be doing. But there's a few things that are coming up more and more that really concern me. And if you're watching from other parts of the country, it should concern you too, regardless of your political stripe or regardless of how you vote. And that's the fact that I now get people very often, almost on every single door that I hit, that go, why should Alberta pay into equalization? I don't get it. The rest of the country doesn't want our oil products. Bill C-69, this bill that Justin Trudeau put forward, that is so damaging to the energy sector that economists and industry leaders say that it's basically going to prevent any sort of investment in that sector for the rest of Canada's foreseeable future. He put forward that bill after he used billions of tax dollars for a pipeline that's probably never going to get built under him because he refuses to enforce federal jurisdiction. So of course my constituents are going to talk about why should we be giving all of this money from Alberta to the other part of the country. And you know, that was something that never came up under the last government that we had because we were focused on national policy that benefited every part of the country, but Justin Trudeau can't do that. So, you know, when we have these debates in the media, or when, you know, left-wing journalists put out these columns about, you know, equalization or the energy sector, these are the people that get forgotten, and I'm tired of it. I saw a comment this morning from a journalist. He was on CBC last night, and to his credit, he has apologized since then, but he dismissed a large swath of voters who have concerns about Canada's immigration policy under Justin Trudeau, about the energy sector, about taxes being too high, about equalization. He dismissed them as, quote unquote, the stupidest people on Twitter. You know, it's those sorts of comments and that arrogance that the people in my community that just want to work, that just want to contribute, that just want a little bit of prosperity and really have never had a problem contributing to Canada as a whole are now saying, who stands up for me, right? And I mean, that's my job. That's my job as their voice in Ottawa. I try and do that. But at the end of the day, I mean, after 3 years and watching year after year, more and more people in my riding become unemployed, leave the riding to other parts of the world like the United States that have better job prospects for their skill set now. You know, Justin Trudeau needs to go. So look, I'm going back to Ottawa energized on Monday. I fully intend to keep doing what I've been doing for the last 3 years and being a strong voice for my riding and doing everything possible while we're in opposition with a Liberal majority government to hold Justin Trudeau to account, to stop his policies, you know, like we did to a certain extent with the small business tax. But this is what's at stake with giving Justin Trudeau another majority mandate in 2019. So it's not like this esoteric power grab thing. This can't be about ego. This has to be about these people here. It has to be about getting them back to work. We have to have tough conversations about the fact that Canada's energy industry employs an entire region of the country. And it shouldn't be dismissed as dirty jobs. We actually have to talk about the fact that, hey, is it fair to have all of these people contribute to an equalization scheme that the rest of the country doesn't have to, or certain parts of the countries don't have to include resource revenue in it? Like, come on. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't raise those questions, and I do that every day. But I'm just hoping that many of you, and maybe some of you who voted Liberal, will actually have some compassion for your fellow Canadians who have for a long period of time just worked really hard and have tried to build our country. I think we're at this turning point here where if the federal government doesn't get its act together and figure out that it can't have policy like Bill C-69 that completely undermines investment in an industry that supports an entire region, we start picking away at the fabric of our country. And that's a huge problem. That's a huge problem, you know, and oftentimes what the Liberals will do when we bring up this issue is say, oh, you're anti-Canadian, you're un-Canadian, you don't want to see the country. That's the opposite of what every single one of these people want to see happen. They just want to work. They quietly work hard and have contributed to this country for years. And you know what? I can't begrudge them the right to ask these questions. So Justin Trudeau, look, I'm coming to ask you questions on Monday, and you better have some answers. You know, being Prime Minister is about being a public servant, and being a public servant doesn't mean, you know, going around the world taking pictures in costumes to try and get in Vanity Fair or sitting on a panel at some lefty conference. It means getting these people back to work. The policy that you have in front of our Parliament right now makes our streets less safe. It undermines the integrity of our immigration system, and it doesn't get these people back to work. In fact, it keeps them out of work a lot longer. So at this point in time, you need to go, because you failed them, and I'm going to hold you to account. So for those of you at the rest of the country, stand with me, stand with the people in my riding, because I think we all want the same thing, a strong and prosperous Canada, but that's not going to happen under this government. Working hard for you in a very cold and snowy Calgary. Have a great day.